Welcome back, everyone. It's your coach, Jordan Briones. In today's video, we are going to be breaking down a 3.0 gold medal match in South Carolina. We're going to talk about what makes these players 3.0s and what they can improve on. And by the end of this video, you're also going to know what you can improve on as well. All right, this looks like a pretty cool outdoor facility. We got the guys over here in these matching jerseys. Again, this is men's 3.0 gold medal match. So let's go. Okay, good drive to start. All right, so off the bat, little short return here. And these are one of the things that you will see at lower levels. Shorter, weaker returns. I think this gentleman here, number 7 here, did the right thing for his third shot. He drove it. He has a pretty good drive motion, driving to the dominant side of this player in the pink and purple right there. So great drive. Little unlucky on that net cord, but I like the aggression to start. Okay. All right. So we have another short return, a little bit unintentional, I would say. Now we have this gentleman here in the pink and the purple sprinting and running in, especially when it's the backhand and you're running in like this. One of the things I would suggest on a low ball like this is to hit a dink or hit a drop. When we are running full force here and you are trying to sprint for the ball, and it's a low ball to the backhand, a good idea here is to kind of just dink it in the kitchen, especially when you are running up towards the ball. You can see he kind of flicks it, tries to catch his opponent off guard, and it doesn't work. Okay, so number 7 with a great return there, nice deep return, and then we have a drive by the gentleman in the white, and we have kind of a tomahawk volley here. We'll call it hitting a backhand volley with the forehand. So some advanced players will do this in specific times, but you'll definitely see this kind of volley in lower level play. And that could be good at times. But again, it's very hard to control your paddle face angle when you are reaching like that. If you are watching this video actually and you're in between that 3.0 or 4.0 range, I really encourage you to check out pickleballframework.com, and that's a free resource, completely free, that we've made for you. And I've specifically made a series of videos to really help you with your court positioning and how you think on the court, and it can help you just like it would help these players. We're going to keep jumping in here. Okay, good return. All right. So first third shot drop attempt. I think that this was the right play for this gentleman in the pink and purple. It was a low ball drop attempt, just missed it into the net. What I could say there is that we've all missed a third shot drop. I always like to tell players missing high is always better than missing into the net. So when you are going for these kinds of shots, make sure that you leave some room for error. And when you're dropping down the line like that, we are dropping towards the highest part of the net. So dropping cross court or middle is usually higher percentage. Wow. Okay, what a point here. It's kind of a lot to talk about here, but the first thing we see is the player in the white not coming in on the return. So at the 3.0 level, even at 3.5 level at times, you will see players get stuck back on the return of serve, and we clearly see it here. Again, we want to be moving in towards the net to get to the non-volley zone to meet our partner so that we can be in an offensive position. This is exactly what will happen. This team here will keep the player back, and now they are in control. Okay, now he did kind of get out of it, and he got to the net somehow after staying back, and these guys couldn't quite handle it. But again, we really want to make sure we get to the net. Okay, third shot drop choice. I don't mind this third shot drop choice. This number 7, he looks fairly balanced. Obviously, we can work through some technique things, but I see this all the time at low levels, and it's missing wide on your thirds. This is one thing that you will not see at 4.0, especially 4 or 5 above levels. You won't see any drops miss wide. Even the pros, Ben Johns or Anna Lee Waters, you'll see them, top pros, hit their drops, but they always leave room. They always leave margin from the sideline. So that's one thing that you always want to make sure that you're doing. Okay, good deep return there by number 1. Oh my goodness, almost got it back. All right, so good deep return here. I like the drive attempt here. And then he goes for the third shot lob, which is really short and puts him into trouble. So another thing that separates higher level players from lower level players at the 3.0 or 3.5 level is their drops and their decision making here. This was a great drive by this player in the white. And when we get this ball kind of in front of us and it's fairly low, this is actually a good time to drop the ball, because you can notice his partner in the pink and purple right now is up at the net. So as we go back and watch this, the drive was a really good shot to start the transition with. And then this next ball, you will see high level players drop the 5th, and he, instead of dropping it into the kitchen and meeting his partner up at the non-volley zone line, instead, what does he do? He throws up a lob with both players in a strong position at the net. So again, if you're going to throw a lob, it really has to make sure, you really got to make sure it's deep there. Okay, so here's a good third shot drive. And then again, this gentleman in the jersey here, the number 1, he looks young, really athletic. But again, here's that kind of tomahawk kind of volley here where he's inverting this backhand and hitting it kind of with his forehand paddle face. And especially on low balls like that, that's where you can get into trouble. So if you are kind of flipping your wrist like that right now in your game, I definitely recommend that you get in that continental grip and learn how to volley the correct way. So great aggression by the guy in the white now. So those were 2 good volleys here. Again, he gets away with his tomahawk here because it's a little bit higher head level. And this is, you know, if you can hit this consistently, this is fine. He actually has a really good roll. So I really like him putting pressure with topspin. So that was a great shot by the number 1 player. And then again, this guy in the purple just digs it out and hits a really good ball low here. And you'll see this number 7 guy just kind of go for too much. Anytime the ball is below the net, this is a good time to kind of just reset the point or dink it if possible. Obviously, on this kind of ball, you'll see higher level players keep it on the ground, right? We want to keep it at this guy's feet in the white and play a consistent ball. This guy, number 7, Big Goose, as his jersey says, just kind of goes for a little bit too much. So we'll keep going here. Number 7 with a good return there. Good volley there by number 1. Good volley exchange. Okay. So a great counter by number 1. And the big key thing I can see here is I want to just identify being steady on your firefights. Okay. So this was a good return, good drive there. And then here's the first volley by this gentleman in the white. And you can tell he's a little bit off balance, right? And when we are in a firefight, it's super important to reload and get ready for the next ball. So that split step, which we talk about it in a lot of our videos, it's really important as you're the transitioning team, the guy in the purple and the white right now. We want to be making sure we're balanced on every shot and not falling over. So that's another thing that will separate the 3.0 and 3.5s from the 4.0 levels. So nice return there by the guy in the white. I really like that slice return. And this time he actually came in. So I really like that. So you can see he comes up to the net, and the number 1 jersey guy is driving it now, and you can see this guy in the white is still moving a little bit. So when we're still moving on our fourth, we could tend to make errors, and hopefully you can see he's chopping down on his volley a little bit. So anytime we're chopping down or slicing on our volleys, that is a good indicator of possibly hitting the ball into the net just like that. So not only split stepping would be a good thing to do after you return the ball and prep for your fourth shot, but we also want to make sure that we're pushing out to the ball, not down. Okay. All right. So this guy in the number 7 hits a really good drive on his third here. Really good drive. And you can see the guy in the purple actually hits a pretty good volley. Now, number 1, Baby Goose here, has a low ball at his feet. And at high levels, especially on a ball like this, you got to make sure that you dink this ball so that you and your partner can get in. But what does this guy decide to do? He decides to speed it up from a super low position. And again, that can work. Speeding up the ball every chance you get. It could work at lower levels. They unfortunately get a little unlucky on this net cord. But either way, when you're speeding up from a really low position like this, the counter from your opponents is going to be downwards, heading down at your feet. So when you are in any position on the court and you have a ball that is at your ankles, it's always a good idea to drop it. So you can see in this position here, after that first drive, that would be a good opportunity to drop that ball. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And really, if you're a 3-0 right now watching this, a big thing that players don't really think about is you can move up to the next half level from a 3 to a 3-5, and at times a 3-5 to a 4-0 just by cleaning up decision making alone. A lot of times, yes, we're learning new shots and we have to improve our technique, but one of the things that we can just clean up is decision making. So number 1, we see this gentleman in the white return the ball and he doesn't come forward. So it puts him at a disadvantage here, right? So he stays back. Again, we want to come in so that we can meet our partner up at the net. So the number 7 gentleman keeps it back and does the right thing. And then what we see again, this guy, Baby Goose, shout out to him. Really athletic guy. I don't know how long he's been playing, but he has some good skills here. But just when he receives these low balls, these are balls that we want to dink, especially when you're falling back like this. When you're off your back foot, it's hard to control the ball with topspin and control it in general. So that's not the ball where we want to be full sending an attack. And for these 4 guys, if you ever see this video, comment below. I really appreciate, you guys just like playing. And again, I like to just watch footage from random people so that we could all learn together. So hopefully this is helpful for you. All right, so good return. All right. Good return by the number 7, and then you will see a little missed third into the net. One of the things that good players do very well and that 3-0 and 3-5 players could learn from is creating space on your third. So this is a really deep return. You can see it here, and you can see this guy in this gentleman here in the pink and purple, he's actually standing inside the court. The problem with that on your third is that ball is going to come deep at your feet, and now you're going to have to be kind of short hopping the ball like this. And when we're doing that, it's really, really tough to hit a quality third. So that's why it's really important, especially as you advance in levels, to make sure you stay back behind the baseline after the serve. All right, so that drive to work there. This is a nice drive by this gentleman in the white. Again, this is teed up by a short return. And this is a thing that is super important at any level, to make sure that you're returning deep. And this guy in the white takes full advantage of that short return. Speeding up and driving is the right play. He drives to a chicken wing, kind of jams number one up, and then the guy in the purple and pink just cleans up. So really great play there. Okay, miss return. All right, so good deep return there. All right, just a little out. Okay, 2 missed returns. So if you are struggling with your returns today, one of the things that you can make sure that you do is get out there and drill. It's super important. We don't want to be just giving points away like this. Okay, good volley there. All right. Pretty good volley by the jersey, in the number 1 jersey. And there's another good example here of a great third shot drive. So a lot of times at these 3-0 levels, if you do have a good drive, you can actually win a lot of points on your drive. And this is what you will see at higher levels. Players will have better counters here. But this was actually a really good drive by this opponent. He has a nice follow through and finish here. And this guy at the net couldn't quite get it in the center of the paddle. So that was a good ball there. Okay, we're going to keep moving on here. Good solid deep return there. And that was a close ball. Wasn't sure if that was in. Good volley there. Okay, so just doing the right things, keeping your opponent's back goes a long way at these levels. This is South Carolina, I believe. Comment below if this is what 3-0 looks like at your level. I do think that the level is appropriate here. This is a 3-0 gold medal match. I don't know how long that these guys have been playing, but I'm glad that they're out there having fun and competing. Good air time there. Second one. All right. Okay, so good smash there. And again, on these low balls that are kind of shorter in the kitchen like this, if you're going to drive it like this gentleman does in the pink and purple, just keep it back. Keep it back to the deeper opponent here. You can see how he kind of drives it right at the number 7 guy who is already established at the net, and he absolutely obliterates that ball. So that's great hands there by number 7. Okay. Nice return by number 1. Good ball. So this is just good aggression by this guy in the white. And we even talk about this at high levels of play, 4-0, 4-5 plus, but driving to that dominant side, driving to the chicken wing, specifically right outside the right hip or right shoulder, will cause players to jam up. And that's what sets up this point. So really great spot by the gentleman in the white. Now they've switched sides. We'll see a few more points here. Wow, good drive there. Again, we want to make sure we also cover our line. The ball here is more in the middle, but you'll see this gentleman on the other side of the net. You'll see his right foot is on that center line. And again, he's covering the middle well, but he's also leaving the sideline open, okay? And this is what we call just a positioning error. You know, when you are squeezing middle like that, you're covering middle and you're putting a lot of pressure there, but you're always leaving something open on the sideline. And then this gentleman in the purple and pink takes advantage of that. So that was a really great drive by him. Again, if you want to make sure that you clean up your court positioning and decision making early in your pickleball career, make sure you check out Pickleball Framework as a free resource that we made for you. And it's super beneficial, and I know it can help you with your game. So make sure you check that out or scan the QR code. Great drive there and great drop. Okay. Some good dink in there. Okay, so here we go. So great serve. I think this is one of the best constructed points in this 3-0 match so far. We have a good return with the gentleman coming in, a great drive, and there's a great volley. And this is what I was talking about. When it's low here, that's when we want to hit that 5th shot drop. So he hits a very, very good, well-executed drop here. And this gentleman creates space and hits a dink to the backhand. A lot of players' backhands are weaker in this level, and then it gets this gentleman way off the line. And that shot really has to do with footwork there. I know that you've probably heard it before, but when it comes to kitchen work, when all 4 players are up at the line, footwork is everything. Because if you can't move your feet efficiently here, then you are going to be pulled out of position. Again, if you want a free resource just to work on your feet, we'll leave it below. I just really want to help as many players out as I can with their feet. You can just check out fixmyfootwork.com to help you with your feet. This is just a error into the net on that volley. We'll keep going and see what we can see here. Okay, we've all been in positions like this where the ball is dropping towards our feet and we pop the ball up. A lot of times that really just has to do with not setting your feet, not being balanced. You can see here, if we go back, this gentleman in the white hits a deep return, but he doesn't come in. So that kind of puts him in a tough position off the bat. And then when he preps for the next ball, right, he's trying to rush in here and close to the net. Now, this gentleman here hitting the ball hits a really nice low ball, and you can see this gentleman in the white kind of never stops his feet, never split steps. So he's ending up hitting the ball with his feet really close together and from a low position, and it's hard to control the ball when you're moving like that. And that gentleman there puts the ball away. So I'm not going to go over the entire match, but hopefully this was super beneficial for you to look at and watch. Again, if you're really struggling with more of the fundamentals of the game, I really encourage you to check out Pickleball Framework. And if you are a higher level player and you're struggling up at the net, dinking with players, and you're maybe wanting to dink more aggressively and hit better quality shots, check out fixmyfootwork.com or scan the QR code here, because if you don't clean up your footwork, it is going to be very, very hard to improve. I hope you really enjoyed this breakdown. We hope to bring you more, and we'll see you soon.